Have you ever seen some of those really cool like vintage lampshades at stores like Anthropologie? Well, I've got a really easy way that you can replicate the look at home in an afternoon with practically no money at all. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to use tea to dye the lampshade. You want to make sure that you're using a fabric lampshade and not a paper one, because the fabric one actually dyes much better. And then I've got some tea. This is black tea that I've been soaking in some boiling water that's ready to go. And then you're also going to need a ruler, a pencil, and a permanent marker. So I'm just going to take a tea bag and then I'm going to dab my tea bag against the lampshade like this. It's not going to be perfect. You're going for something that's aged naturally, so it's going to be darker some places and lighter others, and that's totally cool. And if you want a darker color, you can actually let it dry and then go back over it and make it as dark as you want. As you go, you're kind of going to start tearing little holes in your tea bag. And when that happens, you want to move to another one because you just don't want to get tea leaves on it. If you do, it's no big deal because when you dry, you can wipe it off. Okay, so you kind of get the idea. So you'd continue around the entire lampshade with your tea bags to make sure that you give it a cool, like vintage tea-dyed color. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how you can actually write on top of the lampshade. So what you need for that is you need your ruler and you need your pencil. So what I'm going to do is just measure how high I want my text to be. So about 1 inch is probably pretty good. So I'm going to start just lining up the ruler with the top of the lampshade, and then I'm going to make a little mark where I have 1 inch, and then 2 inches, 3 inches, like this. And what you're doing is kind of creating like a soft grid line for yourself, so as you're writing you know exactly where you want your text to be. So once I've got my guidelines all the way around, I'm just going to kind of connect the dots. Now if you wanted your text to be smaller, you'd make your line smaller. If you wanted it to be bigger, you can make your line bigger. And this is just an easy way to make sure that your writing stays nice and straight. And you just want to make sure you do light lines because you're going to erase these afterwards. This is just for a guide. And then you're just going to start writing. So what I like to do is I like to start at the seam because that's where you're kind of going to wrap your text around. But for our purposes now, I'm just going to show you that I'd start here. So you can write whatever you want on it. I'm going to give this to someone that I really care about. So you get the idea. You're going to tea dye it, make sure that dries, draw your guidelines, and then start writing. And I've got one that I've got pretty much done right down here. And this one I got very patriotic about and actually did the Declaration of Independence on it. So this is great for the patriot in your family. But you can see how cool the tea dyeing looks, and I like the fact that it's got some variation to it because it really looks old-fashioned. And then let's see what it looks like with the lights on. That's pretty cool. This is such a fun and easy gift idea. Or if you want to use it to personalize your home with a special message that means something to you, there you go. I'm Evette Rios. Keep clicking on.